Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So, we will continue our study of Sri Brahma Samhita, and we will be discussing text 44 today from the 5th chapter. So, we'll begin with the prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. नमां विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दं माधवम्। Hare Krishna, welcome back to our study of Brahma Samhita weekly session. So, last week we read the 53rd verse where we read the description of different planetary systems and the creation, where Brahmaji prays that the topmost planet is Goloka, where Lord Krishna himself resides. Goloka Namni Nija Dhamni, he himself resides there in the topmost planet in the spiritual creation. And then from the bottom up, he mentions about Devi Mahesha Haridhama Suteshu Teshu, that from his place where Brahmaji is in the Devi Dham, the material creation, where in the universe, material universe, on the topmost planetary system, or Brahmalok or Satyalok, where Brahmaji is residing, he mentions that Devi Dham, then Mahesha Dham and Haridham Suteshu Teshu. And all these four different categories, the Devi Dham, Mahesha Dham, Haridham or Vaikuntha, and the topmost in the Vaikuntha is Goloka. Te Prabhava Nishaya Vihitamshayena, that they are controlled by representatives of Krishna. So, in today's verse, what we are going to see is about the description of controller of the Devi Dham, which is Durgadevi, or also called external energy of Lord Shri Krishna, Māyā Devi. So, where Brahmaji prays about this prayers further, sṛṣṭi-sthiti-pralaya-sādhana-śaktir chāyeva yasya bhuvanāni bibharti Durgā icchānurūpam yasya ceṣṭate sā govindam ādi-puruṣaṁ ahaṁ bhajāmi. Where he says the external potency Māyā, who is the nature of the shadow of the Chit potency, is worshipped by all people as Durgā, the creating, preserving, and destroying agency of this mundane world. I adore the primeval Lord Govinda in accordance with whose will Durga conducts herself. So here he is saying sṛṣṭi-sthiti-pralaya-sādhana-śaktir. So this material creation in the Devi Dham is continuously going through some transformations. So it is being created, it stays for some time in the manifested state, and it again becomes unmanifested, or the pralaya. Sṛṣṭi is creation or manifestation of the energy for certain period, and then it stays for some time, that is, and during that period it is preserved by the energy, external energy, and then pralaya, or the annihilation or destruction of this material energy, and it becomes again unmanifested. And It is all done through the sadhana-śaktir eka. It is the agency of Lord, which is the Shakti or one of the potencies of the Lord. Krishna has innumerable potencies. So his parasya shaktir vividhaiva shruyate swabhavike jnana bala kriyacha. So his potencies are unlimited and they are of different varieties. So out of that, this is one of the potency or external energy, which we also in the beginning learn about how she is working as a maid servant, and Krishna is directing her through the spiritual potency called Rama Devi. In the first few verses, I think third or fourth verse of this chapter, we discussed that. And how is she working? Is she working independently on her own accord? So here it says no. She is like a chaya or shadow of the Lord. Chāyeva yasya. And she is controlling this all the material mundane worlds. She is maintaining this all these material worlds. Bhuvanāni bibharti. So all these in this, there are innumerable universes in this material creation. And in each creation, we saw the chart last week. I will open up that in a bit. But in that each universe, we see that the lower half of the universe is filled with Garbhodak ocean, on which on the bed of Ananta Shesha, Garbhodak Shai Vishnu is lying, and through his navel that a lotus sprouts, and on the top of that lotus, Brahmaji was born. And on the stem of the lotus, there are 14 different planetary systems. So and there are innumerable planets in those. So those all bhuvanāni or mundane different worlds are maintained by this potency. This is the agency by which Lord Sri Krishna maintains this material creation. And she is known as Durgā. And there are other names also, we'll look at those, but Durgā, because Durga means fortress or fort or a prison house, which is Durga. Dur means difficult, Ga means to go from. So it is very difficult to get out of this material creation because it is controlled by this Durga. So Durga is like a jailer and Durga is like a prison house. So she is the controller of this, and she makes sure that the living entities who wanted to enjoy themselves, not serving Lord Shri Krishna. So she is the one who is maintaining all these living entities, the marginal potency of the or Tatastha Shakti of Lord Shri Krishna, all these jivas in this material creation, and they are bound under her control with the three modes of material nature and the illusory potency. As Krishna says in the 7th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, Daivihi Esha Gunamai Mama Māyā Durattaya. So even though the material energy, it is also divine. Krishna calls it Daivihi Esha Gunamai, Daivi Shakti. But it is Gunamai by three modes of material nature, Satogun, Rajogun, and Tamogun. She is controlling all the living entities in this material creation. And here again in the third line, it says, she is working icchānurūpam, api yasya. Yasya means by Lord Sri Krishna's. So she is working according to ichcha or desire or will of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna. Icchānurūpam api yasya cha ceṣṭate sa. Ceṣṭate means she is doing all her endeavors or everything what she is doing. That word in Sanskrit is cheshta. In Hindi also, we sometimes say that cheshta. So she is working according to the will of Lord Sri Krishna. And she is not independent. So even though Lord Krishna is not directly in contact with her, or she can never get directly in contact with Lord Sri Krishna, but she is always working under direction of Lord Sri Krishna's will. As in the Bhagavad Gita, we read, Māyā Dhakshena Prakriti Suyate Sacharacharam Hetunanena Kaunteya Jagat Viparivartate. Lord Krishna says in the 9th chapter that this Prakriti, Mayadhyakshena Prakriti Suyate Sacharacharam. This Prakriti, which is controlling all the living entities, moving and non-moving, char and achar. She is working Mayadhyakshena, under my direction, under my control. So she is not working independently. The Mother Nature doesn't work independently, as the modern scientists sometimes claim that, oh, this is automatically happening, or things are being created and annihilated, and all the changes happening in the world are automatically happening. And the creation, it started all with Big Bang, some kind of a bang was there, and then everything was created from that Big Bang, and everything is so perfectly organized, working, and which is not controlled by anything. The material nature is working on its own accord. But that is not the case. Here in this verse, it is said, Brahmaji is saying that icchānurūpam api yasya cha ceṣṭate sa. Or even Lord Shri Krishna says, Mayadhyakshena Prakriti Suyate Sacharacharam. So to that Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is under whose desire or will Durgadevi, this Mother Nature or the Māyā Devi is working, to him Lord Brahmaji is saying, govindam ādi-puruṣaṁ tam ahaṁ bhajāmi. I offer my respectful obeisances, or I offer my Supreme Lord my obeisances to that Govinda, who is ādi-puruṣ, who is the primeval Lord. Tam ahaṁ bhajāmi. So let's quickly read the purport. This is a small purport, not too large. The aforesaid presiding deity of Devi Dham, which we read in the previous verse, is being described in this verse. And this is what Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur writes. Now, in this word, in which Brahma takes his stand, and the hymns of Lord of Goloka is Devi Dham. So Brahmaji is in the Devi Dham of the 14 worlds, and Durga is the presiding deity. She is 10-armed, so she has 10 arms and 20 weapons in all her hands. So she's 10-armed, representing the tenfold, multifold fruitive activities. She rides on the lion, representing her heroic prowess. She tramples down Mahishasura, representing the subduer of all vices. And she is the mother of two sons, Kartikeya and Ganesha. So she is none other than Mother Parvati. And there are innumerable names. She has many names, and some of them Lord Krishna describes when he appears in this material world, when he is appeared in the womb of Devaki, and in there when he is instructing Yogamaya what she needs to do, where he mentions some of his names. So let's go to the previous verse. So here, prayers by demigods to Lord Krishna in the womb. So Lord Krishna first describes that he is going to appear in the womb of Devaki, in the prison house of Kamsa, and then he instructs Māyā Devi that you should take birth in the womb of Mother Yashoda, and then make the arrangements in such a way that he can go there again. So he says, and again, some of the sacrifices that are done to Mother Kali are animal sacrifices. Those are done. So he mentions here, by sacrifices of animals, ordinary human beings will worship you gorgeously. This is what Lord Krishna is telling Yogamaya, with various paraphernalia, because you are supreme in fulfilling the material desires of everyone. So Mother Durga, she is also called Shakti, and her followers or worshippers are called Shaktas. So she is the one who fulfills many material desires, but at the same time, by fulfilling those material desires, she keeps the living entities bound in this material world also. And then in the next verse, Krishna describes many of her names. So he says, Namadheyani kurvanti sthanani cha nara bhuvi Durga iti Bhadrakali iti Vijaya Vaishnavi iti cha Kumuda Chandika Krishna Madhavi Kanyaketi cha Māyā Narayani Ishani Sharada iti Ambika iti cha. So he describes quite a few names here. So Lord Krishna blessed Māyā Devi by saying, in different places on the surface of the earth, people will give you different names, such as Durgā, Bhadrakali, Vijaya, Vaishnavi, Kumuda, Chandika, Krishna, Madhavi, Kanyaka, Māyā, Narayani, Ishani, Sharada, and Ambika. And there are some other names also that those are described. So, and these, if we see in the land of Bharatvarsha, there are different places where Mother Durga is worshipped with different names. In Bengal, prominently she is worshipped as Kali. In Kolhapur, there is a Mahalakshmi temple, and also there is one Mahalakshmi temple in Mumbai. Or in the northern part of Bharat, she is worshipped as Mother Sharada, and so on. So all these different names are there that she takes. So she has two sons, Kartikeya and Ganesha, representing beauty and success. She is placed between Lakshmi and Saraswati, representing mundane opulence and mundane knowledge. So she is the goddess of mundane opulence as well as mundane knowledge, and she is armed with 20 weapons, representing the various pious activities enjoined by the Vedas for suppression of voices. She holds snake. Snake is a representation of time, Kala Sarpa. We read that in multiple places. So she holds snake representing the beauty of destructive time. Such is Durga, possessing all these manifold forms. Durga is possessed of Durga. Durga means fort. So she is the controller of this material creation, which is compared to a Durga, which means fort or prison house. When jivas, begotten of the material marginal potency or tatastha shakti, forget the service of Krishna, they are confined in this mundane prison house, the citadel of Durga. So Durga is one who keeps them confined in this material creation to all these jivas who forget the service of Lord Shri Krishna, and they want to enjoy themselves separate from Lord Krishna. And then again, as we just read, karmana daiva netrena. So by the will of karma, the instrument of punishment is in this place. So they are punished by the different reactions of karma. So whatever activities they perform, they are continuously punished in this material world, and they are purified. But when luckily the forgetfulness of Govinda on the part of imprisoned jiva is remarked by them coming in contact with self-realized souls, and their natural aptitude for loving service of Krishna is aroused, Durga herself then becomes the agency for their deliverance by the will of Govinda. So here I remember the pastime of Jad Bharat. If you remember, when Jad Bharat Maharaj, who eventually, after taking birth as a deer, and then after giving up the deer body, he was born as Bharat again in the Brahmin family. And because he showed himself as a retarded person, not taking interest in any kind of study or any kind of social affairs or anything, any family life. So he was called as Jad Bharat. So because he was not very responsive, showed that he was not very responsible person and not very intelligent, his brothers and his sisters-in-law gave him some duty of protecting the field. And once what happened, some of the dacoits, they came and they were worshippers of Mother Kali. And they, for getting some boon from Mother Kali, they wanted to give some kind of human sacrifice. And they saw this Jad Bharat there, and they thought, okay, this is the right person to give human sacrifice to Mother Kali. So they caught him and they took him to the temple of Mother Kali, where they were preparing to kill him and sacrifice Mother Kali. And as they raised their weapon, Mother Kali from that deity herself appeared She killed her all those dacoits who were supposed to be her devotees, and then she freed Jad Bharat, asking for forgiveness from him. So she is the one who, when somebody becomes self-realized and he engages in the service of Krishna, she is the one who becomes agency for their deliverance. She supports them and she respects them and she helps them to get out of this material world. So, yeah, and again here we read that she is the mistress of this prison house. She is working the selfless. She is doing the selfless service of Krishna. So it behoves that everybody to obtain this skillless grace of Durga, the mistress of prison house, by propitiating her with the selfless service to Krishna. So just by doing service to Krishna, they can get some benefit from Durga also. So it continues, and then there was a mention here, I think, where she gets this that Lord Krishna gives her instructions through Ramadevi. So when he glances on the material nature, he glances not directly on the material nature or Durga Devi, but glances through Ramadevi. And we saw that picture. Let me share that picture. Open that one second. Last week also we saw the same image when we were describing the four worlds, the Devi Dhama, Mahesh Dhama, Haridham, and Golokadham. Oh. Let me stop sharing this and share that image. So here, so last week we saw that this lower portion, what is in one universe is shown, and below this Viraja river is the Devi Dham or material creation. Then on the border of the spiritual creation, the material creation is the Mahesha Dham, and then Haridham or Vaikuntha in the spiritual realm, and on the topmost planet of Haridham or Vaikuntha planet is the Goloka Vrindavan, where Lord Krishna is eternally performing his pastimes. So in today's verse, Brahmaji is describing the presiding deity of the Devi Dham. And in the next 5 verses, he describes all the deities, how they who are controlled by or who are working under the control of Lord Shri Krishna, and they are representatives of Lord Krishna in the different planetary systems. So here, so we saw that this Karnodakashayi Vishnu, who is lying in the Yoga Nidra, in the Viraja river or Karna ocean, and from whose bodily pores, when he is breathing out, innumerable universes in like these golden eggs are coming out. So this Mahavishnu or Karanodakashayi Vishnu is glancing on the mother Durga here. But if you see here, it is very nicely depicted that his glance is coming through Rama Devi. So Rama Devi is one who is getting directly in contact with Mahavishnu, but Durga Devi is getting this glance through Rama Devi, and then there is Shambhu here, and this Durga Devi is the controller of this whole material creation, and she is the one who keeps all these living entities confined in each material universe here, where we saw that these are the 14 planetary systems in the stem of the lotus flower, which sprouts from the Garbhodakashayi Vishnu, from lower planetary system to the upper here. And below the lowest planetary system, Patala Loka, there are 28 planets or hellish planets, Narakaloka, where a living entity for any of his sinful activities are given punishment, they are sent to this place or Narakalok for getting the punishment for their sinful activities before they get their next birth in one of these planetary systems. And there are different planetary systems, Kumbhi, Paka, and so many different names are there in the 5th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, last chapter. So it is 9:27 already. So I'll stop here and we'll take some reflections in the last 3 minutes. Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. Jai Shri Prabhu. So Prabhu, the Mahesh Dham is outside the realm of or the reach of Brahma Jyoti. Between the material world and the spiritual world, there is some gap where that is the place where Mahesh Dham is there.
Yes, Mataji. So if you see here that, so it is, my understanding is it is like ocean. So the border, it is some part is in the spiritual world or in the Brahma Jyoti, and the other part is in the material world. And if you see this planet here, so the side that is facing of this planetary system to the spiritual world is called Sadashiva Loka, where the spiritual Sadashiva is eternally residing. And on the darker side or on the material side, there is Mahakala Dham. So in short answer to your question is yes.
Okay, thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji.
There was also mention of the 10 forms of Durga. It is for can you open that last purport which we read on Durgadevi?
Yeah. Let me share again.
Yeah, in the end only it was there, like the 10 forms of
In the
Durga.
end, we didn't read or
the last part
where
it mentions of 10 forms of Durga. Yeah. So in the middle of this, it is the 10 goddesses or forms of Durga are elaborated for the delusion of the fettered souls of this world. Dasha Mahavidya. So can you please elaborate what it means?
I looked up Mataji, I didn't find that. That's where I found that verse where Krishna mentions these different names of Durga. So Shankaran Prabhu, can you add something to that? 10 different forms of Durga if you...
What is the question?
So Mataji is asking that there are 10 different forms of Durga mentioned, which keeps us bound in this material world. Dasha Mahavidya, 10 goddesses forms of Durga. So
I never heard 10, I heard 9 Navadurga forms.
Here it says the mundane physical jubilation of Dasha Mahavidya. The 10 goddesses or forms of Durga are elaborated for delusion of the fettered souls in this world.
Okay.
Can you describe the 9, Prabhu?
Yeah, generally now 9 Durga forms are there, right? Navratri also we celebrate. Okay, this Dasha Mahavidya, I know. Actually, this was during Bhakti San Thakur's time. There was some devotee of Durga who used to teach this Dasha Mahavidya. And even this Ramakrishna Mission, they used to teach this Dasha Mahavidya, worshipping the 10 forms of Durgadevi. Yeah. Now I recollect, yes. So generally, Navaratri is 9 forms of Durga, but this Dasha Mahavidya is generally the 10 different forms of Durga Devi, which are worshipped by generally materialistic people for attaining some material success.
Yeah, in the purport, Prabhupada, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur mentions about in one of the purports, not probably in this purport, but I read Shaktya and Vaishnava. And there is a quarrel between Shaktya and Vaishnava generally. And Shaktya are worshippers of Shakti in different forms of this Durgadevi, and they worship her for some material gain. Yeah, Mataji sent some image in here.
Yeah, I just looked up Prabhuji, and it looks like they are, it says that goddesses Kali, Tara, Tripura, Sundari, Bhuvneshwari, Bhairavi, Chinnamashta, Dhumavati, Bagalamukhi, Matangi, and goddesses Kamala, Lakshmi. These are the 10 goddesses formed. Dasha Vidya, Dasha Mahavidyas.
Thank you, Mataji.
Actually, all these were the forms of Durga for different purposes. In these different forms, she actually killed different demons. So this is there in the Puranas. So, for example, Bagalamukhi was one particular form where she took the form of, train, Bhagula. Similarly, Shatpati was, she took the form of Brahmari Devi, to kill certain demon who had got the boon, different boons. So, just like we have Lord Narasimhadev who appeared, Krishna appeared in the form of Narasimhadev to kill Hiranyakashipu, who had a particular boon. Similarly, different demons, to kill them, she took different forms. Like even Kali, she took the form especially to kill a demon named Raktabija, who had a boon that every drop of his blood falls to the ground will actually give birth to another Raktabija demon. So his forms will multiply. So to kill him, she took the form of Kali. In this way, all these forms are actually taken by Mother Durga, especially for killing the different demons.
So why it is mentioned, Prabhu, that the worship of these will keep the fettered souls of this world in the material world, or something like that? It was mentioned in the purport.
So, this is also there actually in Purana. Generally, these forms of Durga are worshipped by living entities who want to imbibe powers and become very powerful in this world. So, they are more materialistic, goal-oriented, therefore they worship these forms of Durga to imbibe a particular form. Like there are, 51 Shakti Pithas also all over, Bharatvarsha, which is now also part of Pakistan and even, Bangladesh and different places. So these Shakti Pithas are also, for Vaishnavas, actually, these are the source of kind of, what do you call, taking blessings of, because you cannot leave the material world and go to spiritual world without taking blessings of Mother Parvati and Lord Shiva. You have to take their blessings. Like Sanatana Goswami explains in Brihad Bhagavatam. And like Gokumar also took the blessings of Lord Shiva and Mother Parvati before going back home, back to God. So, Vaishnavas take blessing, but materialistic people, they go to get the powers. Power for, enjoying the material existence. And of course, people who are in the Sattva-guna, they worship in a different way. They might worship Durga also in Sattva-guna, but they worship in a different way to enjoy the life in Sattvic way. Rajasic people worship in a different way. Tamasic people worship the Durga in a different way. So even again, 3 modes of material nature, people will worship these forms of Durga for different intentions and different ways they would worship.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Can you please also elaborate more on that planet which Prabhu pointed out on the map, where half of it was Sadashiv Loka, which was showing within the spiritual world, and half of it was showing after it, Mahakal Dham or something was written like that.
Yeah,
So what is
Mahakal
that?
Dham. It is mentioned as Mahakal Dham.
Yeah.
Can you share that picture, please?
Yeah. So this is in the Mahesh Dham. On the spiritual world side is called Sadashiva Loka, which is eliminated, and on the lower part it is called Mahakal Dham on the material creation side.
Okay. So Sadashiva is actually a form of Vishnu, 400 Vishnu form. So Sadashiv Loka is where the Lord Vishnu resides in the form of, Sadashiv. And his counterpart is actually Mahakal, who is actually the ruler of the entire material existence. So Mahakal is the one who actually, Lord Shiva has his source in Mahakal, who has his source in Sadashiv. So sometimes therefore say Lord Shambhu or Lord Shiva has his source in Sadashiv. So Mahakal is nothing but, you can say, the Lord of the time, which is indispensable in the material existence.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank you so much. So I think it is 9:37 already.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Radhā-Rañjana Prabhu.
We'll stop here today. So Vanchakalpatarubhyaścha kripasindhubhyo
Vanchakalpatarubhyaścha kripasindhubhyo च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णव नमो नमः अनंत कोटि वैष्णववृंद की जय श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय.
Thank you so much,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Dandavat pranam.